Thanks for putting all this crap in here. Alright. So let's see. Okay. There's been so many changes, it's not, I don't even have a forum post to really even go to even look. Alright, so we have Briar. Create a deadly Briar patch beneath your target, stunning and damage. Okay, well, let me read the powers and I'll figure it out. Remember, when I'm doing these kinds of testing for powers, I rather figure it out on my own, and then I'll take suggestions from the group. Because with nature, I rather read the powers and figure it out myself. You never know, we might find something cool. So, releases poison, inflicting your target with damage over time and making it vulnerable to poison effects. So there's poison and pheromones. I think the pheromones is for healing. Carnage, weapon buff. Yep, pheromones is for the heal over time, and poison's for the damage over time. Sweet. Alright, so Briar poisons targets. Keep that in mind. Savage Growth. Actually, I'll actually go to the forums. I think that was a... You have news about your mama? No one cares. I haven't used nature in a long time. Very long time. Nature. Let's take a look at the 1.8 changes. Okay, so Poison returned to 3 stacks. Vine Lash, Briar, and Serpent Call. That's what they did there. So Vine Lash deals single target damage, poison over time. Briar deals single target poison damage over time with an AoE burst component. And Serpent Call deals damage over time. Savage Growth no longer consumes poison. Harvest no longer consumes poison, but spreads it and refreshes them. The fuck does Harvest? Spreads and refreshes poison. Shit! To be fair, Electricity doesn't have that. And then Thorn Burst. Point blank AoE burst. No longer consumes poison, but spreads and refreshes them. These effects will not show until next build. Okay, so Thorn Burst is not ready yet. I think Roar takes it away. Yep, Roar. Consumed, and enemies take the remaining damage all at once. So Roar is your thingy. Well, let's take a look whatever the other powers are. So Savage Growth doesn't take it away anymore. It just does extra damage. Swarm. So how come powers get more than 1 PI? Well, I know, like for Electricity, Electrified and Polarized, Quantum, Graviton Charged and Destabilize, Earth went straight crushing, Gadgets all over the fucking board. But in this aspect, nature is doing exactly what it should have been when you're having 2 PIs. Pheromones is for healing, poison for damage. That's how I see PIs. That's the true thing. Like for Electrified is more or less for healing, but, well, not even that, because Arc Lightning is the only thing that really heals, but no one really gets extra damage when someone takes extra heals. So I think when it comes to the 2 PI setup, I think nature has it where the game really should go towards it. Electrified enemies take do extra healing, and polarized is the damage. When it comes to Quantum's 2 PIs, I get so fucking confused because both of them are so goddamn. Who cares? I don't see the point of either one. I just don't see the point of either one. Atomic only really has one itself. But let's take a look more. Regeneration. Supercharge. Rampage. Call forth nature's fury and damage and knock back enemies. Okay, so Roar consumes and the healing all at once. Poison consumed, damage all at once. Okay. So they really put a point to make sure to always use Roar. Metabolism is for healing, releases pheromones. You seem to have 5 ability loadouts. I haven't even touched this. This is like the default that they put in. It's like whatever. I haven't changed it out yet. Swarm Shield. Yeah. I get to take a look at Swarm Shield. I might need to pull out my my laptop to do some calculations. Thorn Burst. It spreads and refreshes. I think this build's already in now, because this is like all from June when I was looking at it. So Thorn Burst no longer consumes but spreads and refreshes. So that's done. Harvest, spread and refreshes. Vine Lash, poisons. Impaling Thorns. Oh, that's the execute. And in gorilla form, targets and damages additional enemies. Big Pickles, thank you so much for the follow. Cross-pollination, another heal. Ferocious plants, poison enemies take additional damage. Serpent Call. Yeah, that's the other heal. That's the other one. So I guess we got the best of both worlds then? And I mean, and honestly, maybe, and that also brings in a little imbalance to it as well, because, oh god, I hate to say it, that super low, not even super low, I guess, I don't even know, but there was a guy on the forums that was complaining that we couldn't refresh the dots, that because in the AM setup for electricity, it was, in electricity, Voltaic Bolt is able to refresh dots. Electricity does not have a way to refresh the dots. Now nature does. So I haven't even looked at the forums because I've just completely left it. I just go there and look at what the staff says. But I'm wondering if no one in electricity has really caught on to that point. It's like, well, nature is able to refresh. Can electricity re-electrify people? Can we have that refresh? And honestly, at this point, I don't even think you really need it. I don't think electricity needs it because they have Voltaic Blast now. Voltaic Bolt is a 12-second dot, and it dots enemies now. That's almost refreshing your dots because it has a 6-second cooldown. So it has a 6-second cooldown, delivering dots, and electrifies enemies, and you just hit that on targets where you need. And then Flourish. Refreshes pheromones. Okay. So the dots in nature are Vine Lash, Briar, and Serpent's Call. So right off the rip, I want to put those 3 in. Okay, so we'll put those in. I'm not even really looking at... Oh, shit, hold on. Carnivorous plants spreads and refreshes poison. As supercharge. 50%. And 1 minute cooldown. My god. Yep. Harvest spreads. And then Roar consumes. I'm sorry. Roar consumes and then damage all at once. Okay, so this is what we need to look at. We have a 200, a 200, 200, 300, and a 150. Carnage. Remember, I'm doing dots. I'm doing hybrid. in my mindset, dots are hybrids. It could. I haven't even tried it. I think nature and play from the tray with dots might be more beneficial than than electricity. With electricity, you can easily just go with a polarized loadout and burst your ass off. It's not saving for ice. Are you still in combat? Sometimes that confuses me too. Alright, so we have Briar, poison, poison, poison. Yeah. So, poison, 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 weapon buff, harvest. And by the time Carnage is starting to get off a cooldown, I need to, well, I mean, shit, I don't even need to hit this, I can just hit the refresh. But that's a 300 power cost ability to refresh it. What else refreshes? Thorn Burst, another 300. That refreshes as well. Crap. So Harvest stuns, and Thorn Burst knocks down. Hold on. Harvest does damage and stun your target, where Thorn Burst rakes and does damage over time, making it another dot. Let me take a look. Oh, that's why we don't use Thorn Burst. Because it's melee. Maybe, okay, I think this actually not, oh, it's just a point blank AoE burst, my bad. It's not going to do, no, can't do that here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's wording on their point. That's wording that they have to fix there. If, Jareth, if you want to make a clip of that where they just need to change the wording for it, then raking them with damage over time, it's a point blank AoE. So, yeah, we're going to go back to Harvest. We'll go back to Harvest. Large neighbors, prance, damage, and stun. I said large carnivorous plant and stun. Fine. I didn't want to see the giant plant to begin with. I'll probably have to have him poisoned first now I think about it. Where's my giant plant? Dick. But I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. Alright, so I'm in space, plants die. Touché. Yeah, power over time, healing over time, damage over time. Or tots. Tank over time. Oh, I kill me. Oh, I'm a tot. Oh, anyone else hungry? I could eat. I could eat. Alright, so we unload the dots. We use Carnage for my weapon buff, do some weapon damage. Bad jokes every time. And then harvest when it starts getting close to being bad time. And honestly, I feel like with Roar, you want to use Roar when they're getting really close to low health and just to blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. Or when you run out of power and you can't use Harvest. I'm not trying to change my role, Dick. Alright, Grundy. And this is more or less a, well, actually, I will stand corrected. because I was giving Thorn Burst some shit, but I just remembered I'm melee. So, yes, Thorn Burst is exactly what I need for melee. Oh. That's not going to work because I didn't actually buy any skill points. I didn't actually spec myself. Pardon. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that happened. Failing all night long. Trying to do some combos and I can't even do combos. Yeah. Now, in hybrid roles, you can choose to split your skill points. You can either go into full precision, full might, or might precision, or precision might. Totally up to you as the player. In this aspect, if I play this like I did electricity, I'm going to be speccing the rest of my points into might, because I want my dots to be the damage, and I want my weapons just to be there to just really refill my power bar. But this is different because I have a loadout that's already really centered around all this 3 dots, my 3 main dots, and then I can refresh it. So, and this is where I had Circuit Breaker, that supercharged in that loadout. I could switch it and put Wired in if I wanted to, in this case, in this nature loadout, I'm using Wired instead of using a supercharge. So we're going to put the rest of our points into might and power, because we want our dots to be the damage dealer, and then we'll have our precision damage to just make stuff up, and also to regen our power. So I got 166 minus 5 minus 8 minus 1 minus 60. So I need to spend 92 skill points. Yeah, because the 8 points I normally use would be 100 going into might, so it's only going to be 92 points going into might. The Guide to Trex Fails. Yeah, that's a book. Gabe Tits 7. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crash. Pro tip, PC players, just hold the space bar on whatever stat you want to, and this is what you get. An epileptic seizure. Fun. There. 1 sec. Alright, so let's look at our stats. 23,000 for power. Might's 8749. No mods or anything. Still just going at it with what I want. And precision's at 8791. So I mean, even with the spec, might and precision are pretty on par. And again, I use weapon combos differently than other people. I don't use one set rotation. I spec in all of them. I want to use a lot of them. Excuse me. So I also saw that I really couldn't clip the powers, so it was really weird. That's completely true, Rich. I know who I am, and I'm okay with that. Oh. So 124. And that was also me because I also screwed up because I didn't use wired the second time when it was off a cooldown. So how much does one poison do? 494, 4. Put another poison in there. Do. There we go. I was missing. I see now. I'm missing do. There they go. Yeah. So Catmon, the load can be used two ways. First, you can play the dots and use Harvest or Thorn to spread and refresh them, and then do weapon attacks. And two, apply the dots, use Harvest Thorn to burst, spread them, use Roar for the burst. Yeah, that's very true. See you all over 419 with one cheer. Thank you so much for the cheer. Thank you so much. Pretty sure that cup is just overflowing. Yeah, well, not much. But I got a Destructoid now. I got a robot. Nice robot. Sex robot, sex robot, sex robot, sex robot. What does he want? Thank you, kids in the hall. No, wise kids you know. Wise kids you know. Still, white kids in Canada. Love them. Sex robot. Shit. Hold on. I have to do that. Is there a GIF? Please tell me there's a GIF I can send my friends. Yep, doing it. Hey, Jaxio, how's it going? So, yeah, so I think with the whole using Roar for the burst, let's, I want to see if I can use, like, a different rotation for them, because apparently Serpent's Call has a longer cooldown. What's the cooldown on these bad boys? 3 seconds, 6 seconds, 0.5. Wow. Wowzers. Okay. Oh, shut up. Yeah, you can't chase things while you're in combat. So damn. 166. Wow. Holy shit. That's actually much better than what I've seen in my other testing. I've never gotten to the 166 part. Unless I was Rage. I think my Rage tune was able to get it one time. Let's try just doing Roar. I just want to put the dots down and then just and roar it. See how that works. Oh, damn it. That was refreshed to keep the thing going. Alright. It's really weird trying to go between one or the other. Because like I said, I think when you use Roar to consume all your poisons, I feel that can either really be used at the start of the fight or be used at the end of the fight when they're super low and you know your dots are probably, you don't want to hit your dots again if they're not gonna last a full 12-second rotation. So you just want to just hit Roar just to consume everything and then be on your merry little way. Tough calls. Tough calls. In the 30-second timer, we will stop. Timer, please. Give me 35 seconds on my 35 seconds on the clock. And then once we hit that 5 seconds, we'll hit Roar and see how the damage goes. Because I think Roar itself is probably, yeah, it's a shout and stun, a 1.5 second cooldown. I think that's how long the cast is as well. So there's a frontal cone. Okay. So let's go ahead and start this. 3, 2, 1, hit it. $14 seconds left. That was 155. I think when Swarm comes back, you can do that whole dots just to set up and then burst where Swarm will do that. So what's going on with Swarm? Because even Swarm here is just summon a swarm of angry insects to attack your enemies. Is Swarm supposed to be getting something awesome, chocolatey, cool going with it as well? Again, I haven't read that thread because people in the forums are idiots. My apologies. They're not idiots. They're just... wow. The Oedipus complex on some people. And no, I probably said that wrong. Alright, you know what? Let's just go out and see what we do with this power. Let's just go dancing. Let's just go have fun. Oh, Swarm's considered a pet. Well, yeah, they did have that icon, so okay. I got you.
It's not enough we have sister fighting sister. Now we have unruly shades from the underworld adding to the carnage in Gotham.
Do you think they ever, like, talk to themselves and is like, did you see that player just leave me while I'm talking mid-sentence? Rude. So, let's see. Using Harvest in this long-range setup would probably be a lot better because, well, you're going to have, even when you hit your first dot, it's going to be, man, it's going to be about maybe 2-second delay between your dots a bit. And the reason I say it is because your dots are not always going to be like all 12. It's going to be like you hit this power, a second later this power, a second later this power. So it gets really hard to manage your times. I know about Log Horizon. I tried watching it. It wasn't really... I could not get into it. Incipers, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the crash. Alright. So... taking a look at our spec here, we have weapons. I'm doing some melee stuff here in our hybrid loadout using my one-handed weapon, going all the way into the mastery, so I can do some good damage. Movement mode, of course. Stats, hybrid mastery, 20 into attack chance, 40 attack damage, and then we put 92 in might because we are wanting our dots to do all the damage, and our weapons are just going to do some back stuff. With our nature loadout, we are using the dots because I use dots in hybrid because I feel that's really shine and show up. So with Serpent's Call, we have Serpent's Call, then Briar, Vine Lash to do our poisons. I have Carnage for my weapon buff, and then Thorn Burst because I'm going to be in melee range to spread and refresh the poisons, and then Roar whenever it wants to come back. I have Roar that will consume the poison and take and do the damage all at once. So basically it will consume it and do a burst damage. And I just realized that Serpent's Call is also the supercharged generator. So I really probably could have been using some supercharged generators right about now. Could be using some supercharges, but I decided not to do it. I have decided, and that's my decision because I'm an adult. So our stats with this loadout at CR 166, we are at 21,312 power, 8749 might, and an 8791 precision. And hello, Honor Guard. Good to see you, man. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Oh yeah, Vine Lash, I forgot. Vine Lash pulls. I'm not, because Harvest is more or less for long range, but because I'm going to be in melee range, I'm using Thorn Burst. Because it does the same, it's a point blank AoE, it's more formed for melee, so I'm melee. There you go. I literally forgot Vine Lash was actually a pull, so that kind of deters a bit. It's a new character, I just made it. Alright, so I feel like I definitely missed Vine Lash. That's right. Vine Lash is... That's right, I remember now. Going back to the forums, looking at the post. Final Lash single target. Briar is the burst, and I think Serpent's Call is a single target as well. Calls for serpents to attack your target and nearby enemies. And stun. So yeah, so Serpent's Call, AoE, Briar is an AoE, Vine Lash is a single target. So you kind of have to switch targets if you want that third dot on there. But of course I can always just do this. Burst! Oh yeah, that felt much better. Of course I was dying, so there's that. But that's the thing, it's like with Roar is an option to use, and so I could consume all my dots and do a great big burst of damage. I could easily switch out Roar so I could focus more just having my dots out there and keep refreshing them. And I could switch out Roar and put some little heal in there. Or even a shield. I could probably use a shield. Shields work great. So at that point, I'm like basically down to 25%. I used my 3 dots, my 3 poisons, my weapon buff, and then Thorn Burst so I could spread Vine Lash a little bit and also refresh the dots. And it took me down to about 25% damage. Or 25% power, I mean. Note to self, watch where you stand. And Dr. Jones with the 50 cheers. Thank you. Oh my god, the cup. The cup. Oh yeah, okay. Thorn Burst and then Carnage. That's true. I'll do that. Now, can I clip? Okay, so it's Thorn Burst and then Carnage. Yep.
This is where the shades are coming from. It seems only shades fresh with the essence of death.
Arwen's. I think Arwen's just bounced out and hit me in the head. I think hers just bounced out. It's like, I don't want to go in the cup. I want to hit Trex. Oh, okay, I still messed that up. What you get? Oh, Arwen. Now how much options does this really leave for nature in terms of damage? Because it only really can do the poisons. Where's the burst effect? And that really comes from Roar. So if you're wanting to do play from the tray, you're still using poisons, but you're going to need to use Roar in order to give you that burst aspect. We may have to check out play from the tray. I'm going to try and see if I can get time before the end of the night. The animation time for Vine Lash messes me up. I executed that a little better. I am definitely not surviving. I'm not using... Man. I'm thinking I'm not going to use Roar. I'm really feeling wanting to use a shield. Yeah, I think Roar is going to be... Yeah, Roar is your burst option. And I definitely rather use Swarm Shield. I want to have a little bit of defense in my hybrid loadout. Man, for God's sake, I could use a supercharge, I can tell you that. But yeah, Roar I feel will be your play from the tray. I broke the pot, bitches. I definitely feel the shield is going to work out very well against Faust and Artemis. And now see the Artemis fight, switching out Thorn Burst for Harvest will probably happen because of how the mechanics are for Artemis. But we're going to try with Thorn Burst and see how it works. Going in! Oh, wrong Billy. He bubbled up, so this is giving me a chance to regen some power. I'll use a Soda. Damn it. Alright, he's down. Alright, may have to go for the crystal now. Knew you would. All right. Yeah. So definitely had to use the soda. Definitely needed to use the crystal, which is not bad. It's why they're there. I think with Swarm Shield being another, with the shield being another 300 power cost, it's killing my bat. It is really killing my loadout. So I'm going to try and switch it with the priority heal, which is 250. Or maybe we have one... Oh, God, not Bloom. God, no, not Bloom. Hey, Eddie. Let's do... We have cross-pollination with heal over time. So you heal yourself and group members over time. Oh god, metabolism is another big one? Wow, there's two 450s? Jesus. Okay. No, cannot use metabolism. Cannot use it. I mean, I'm trying to switch out a 300 power cost shield, bringing in a 450. That would just no, I can't do it. Because again, by the time I get all the way to Carnage, my power is already below, getting close to 45, 25%. But I cannot believe Bloom's 15 seconds, but 450. I guess it must be a channel if it's vulnerable to interrupt. And then metabolism. Pricey. Ugh. Employ and expand pheromones in the area to heal yourself, analyze instantly, and then deploy additional. That's a 300. That one does 300. Cross pollinizations is 300. Shit, is Blossom really it? Is that all I have? Is a 250? Oh, and Stravis Growth works in healer role. So that's a big dud. Wow. Oh, Gorilla's the tank form? No, I don't really want to use... I'm not looking for... the 35% is not really going to be effective because, I mean, it's not a good attack, but I'm looking for survivability now. And the Swarm Shield being a 300, it's not going to cut it. So, it may have to go with Blossom. Just because it's 250. Like, if the other 450 releases, you release, but you're only in healer role. That is crazy. So in cross-pollinization, another 300 that releases it. Which does give me a heal over time. Hey, we'll do this. Testing purposes. We'll test out Swarm Shield and how it works against Artemis. And if I fail miserably, which I'm pretty sure it will, we'll switch out the Blossom. Yeah, because he's down to 25%, and... yeah, if I threw Swarm Shield into the rotation, it definitely would hurt. She died fast. She know what she did. It's a mob. I really don't care about needing to have my Carnage weapon buff. They might be weak, but you did.
I am Artemis, born of the lost Amazon tribe, the Bana Migdal. I was a warrior without a home until this woman gave me purpose. To protect her from those who wish to pry ancient knowledge from her frail body. And protect her I shall. That hurt. Prepare for vengeance. It will take more than that to hurt me. You think that will stop me? I shall wipe that smirk from your lips.
Rolling out. Shit. Sodered up.
It will take more than that to hurt me. Feel the fury of my blade. Prepare for vengeance.
Don't bring me back in. Jerk.
Well struck.
And now we're gonna go with the crystal. Knew she would lunge.
Well struck. I shall wipe that smirk from your lips.
Let's not destroy the shield too much here.
You think that will stop me? That hurt.
Now I'm gonna shield.
For vengeance. It will take more than that to hurt me. Well fought, outsider.
All right.
Your skills will be enough to help you gain what you seek.
All right. So the shield worked.
Beware
It worked.
Nothing's what it seems.
Rhinog, thank you so much for the follow.
You have that. Like the great heroes of the past, we must complete these trials if we have any hope of...
I don't want to listen to her anymore. All right, so Swarm Shield actually worked. That worked out in that fight a lot better than I expected. I did not want to test it and see like, I got Swarm Shield going. Let's see, just stay in the fire and keep dealing damage. No, I didn't want to waste that shield with fire. I wanted it to just get me the hell out of there. So that worked out very well. And, alright, so my time is almost actually up, so I really need to actually test a play from the tray with the dots and roar. Which, even looking at it, I mean, it's a 200, 200, 200, which is pretty basic when you look at play from the trays, and then a 150, which is kind of the spammer. Basically, your other two abilities would just be to spread it. You would use Harvest. Oh, I saw that, Catmon, yeah. Which I don't use either of those weapons, and I don't use pets, so. But I mean, if it works for someone, it works for someone. But yeah, so, okay, so looking at it, Poisons is pretty neat. I like how it is, and this is like after a lot of changes on Nature. This is how Nature is now basically 1.8 testing, where it's kind of where other powers have to kind of just get there. Gadgets got first look, got first thought points into it. Gadgets got love first, then Nature got love, so I think every power is going to slowly get the love to get into 1.8 testing. But I like what I did. Having, like I said, having the shield in there to help with survivability was great. Having wanted to switch it out for a heal, my only choice was going to be Blossom because of the power usage that I had. If I had a little bit more power, either in a spec or even in with my stat points or with a mod or with better gear, I might be able to swing it with Metabolism or I'm sorry, Metabolism or Bloom. But just the fact that they're 450 power costs and I'm trying to switch it out for a 300 was not going to work out. I wouldn't have hit my loadout at 166 on this. Was I could hit all 6 of these almost at the same time, and my bar could be completely out almost. So really Blossom being my only choice. So looking at it without actually visually looking at the powers I have, looking at heals over time, it's a 450, a 450, or a 300. There's no heal over time that's a mid, in which if it, and yeah, if one of these powers went down to like a mid power cost, then the healing for it would drop as well. It goes hand in hand. But visually speaking, for me, it's releases pheromones, healing over time, making them right for pheromone effects. So it releases the pheromones, so targets get pheromoned. And then Blossom able to, yourself and the most injured group member, additional heal for pheromones. Savage Growth. This is, okay, but Savage Growth is the 300 too. It's in, yeah. There's just not a mid-range heal over time. And I'm not even sure if like that's even needed. I'm not sure if that's even needed. But you're definitely doing hybrid. I do not see a play from the tray really doing much for with these high power costs with 2 450s and 2 300s. Alright, metabolism, boosting neutral enzymes of your team, restoring health to yourself and group members over time. Bloom. Push back nearby enemies by restoring health to yourself and nearby allies over time. It's 2 abilities that do the same thing, same power cost, but one just has a larger cooldown and vulnerable to interrupt. And Nelly, thank you so much for the follow. I keep wanting to say metabolism, but I guess it's metabolism. It's aluminum. It's the whole aluminum thing. It's really weird how people say it. I'm one of those people. Like diabetes and diabetes. That it's in my eyes is that kind of thing. We just say it weird. Fucking Southerners. Yeah, but Jexio's right. I mean, there's savage versus plants. Poison enemies do extra damage. So in that aspect, versus plants would probably be one for the play from the tray. But here in this hybrid loadout, I just wanted to just do dots, and then refresh, and then weapon. And just let the dots do all the work. Yeah, metabolism, metabolism, it's different syllables. But honestly, for nature, that's my one critique. The heal over times are all super fucking high. And I would have to go into a raid to see how that works, but I don't like that 2 450s and 2 300s. There's no leniency whatsoever. So if you are basically out of power, for whatever reason you're out of power, you can't hit a heal over time. You are basically forced to wait to do Blossom at 250. And you can't do Shield at 300, so you basically just need to grab a Regeneration, heal over time for you and group members, 50% supercharge. What's Chaotic Growth? Root and Stunning, that's a DPS. Rampage. Zed, DPS. Carnivorous Prance, DPS. Yeah, there's only one supercharge. It's not even a group shield. Yeah, honestly, nature's gonna have to really spec into a lot of might and power to get for your heals. That is very true. But yeah, that is my one critique. The heals need to be more spread out amongst power. And I may need to take a look at electric, because maybe electric was the same way. No, electric wasn't the same way, because we have electric genesis, which is 200. Arc lightning's as a 200. We have 200, but they're not hots. Galvanize, I think, was a 300, and Biocapacitor is a 450. So our big 2 hots are big as well. But we can make up for that, though. We can make up for it. I don't see any other ability here that does healing that's not over 300 besides Blossom, which is a priority heal. But there's Roar. There's Roar being the spammer that it is. It can consume the pheromones and just do... It's not enough. And Roar heals you, and Roar is the alert heal, basically. Where... Is it cross-pollination? It doesn't really say which one gives a 7 group heal. I guess it doesn't really matter. But that's my critique. The heal over times needs to be more spread out amongst the power costs. Because healing in nature looks fucking expensive. And you are definitely going to need to be hybrid in order to play that to regen some shit. To regen your power. Wow. Wow. I think Roar needs a new animation. Roar is basically almost using Plasma Wretch's animation. They share the same animation, and Plasma Wretch was actually Plasma Wretch's dovetail was lowered. The animation time was lowered as well. But remember that if you change the animation, you change the damage. You change, something has to give. You can't. If something gets lowered, something else is going to get lowered with it. And I think it's probably going to be, if the animation and dovetail times change, the damage might change. So you have to be careful with that. I mean, you are standing there, but the good thing is, you are vulnerable to interrupt. It is a channel. So... So, with it being vulnerable to interrupt, you might have to use the channel empowered mod to make yourself not vulnerable to interrupt anymore. But yeah, if they change the dovetail, they change the animation, most likely the damage and the healing will be lowered as well. It's the give and take, it's just how they work. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button to watch more videos when they come around. And if you want to throw a little extra support, head over to my Patreon page. And now, just watch a little bit more from the other playlist videos right below.